not going to. I don't know what's going on with TV. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Stanfield Andy Outfitters. This is our first annual fantasy football NFL preview.
First annual?
Yeah.
This is the third year we've done it with Trevor.
No. We haven't went through a preseason ritual. We just always has him as a pick-em contest. Do you want to fucking argue about everything today?
Trevor, I think we're about 3 years into this. Jeff thinks this is the first annual.
Well, I mean, he's got a point.
Thank you.
It has always just been a pick 'em, and then we talk about fantasy, but
yes.
Okay.
This is finally preseason.
It is. Okay, this is the first annual, whatever the fuck.
You're such a charge, I'm telling you. Brought to you by Stanfield Andy Outfitters and Columbia Sportswear.
All woke.
Them fuckers, they clothe me every day. Thank you, Columbia. Anyways,
I could have made a comment, but
are you making fun of me now? Go ahead.
Let's get going, Jeff.
No, what do you got to say, smart ass, about me and Columbia?
I'm not saying anything smart ass.
You were.
Go ahead.
What the fuck you got to say now, smart ass? Go ahead.
Trevor, what bourbon are you drinking tonight?
Fucking disrespectful, Trevor, all the time.
Just a little Wild Turkey 101.
Wild Turkey 101.
What are you drinking, Andy?
Vodka tonic.
What kind of vodka? Tito's?
Tito's.
Okay.
Yep.
Texas made.
When I come down there, yeah, I like Tito's. When I come down there, I need to try some of that Bang Tail.
It's good.
They're having trouble with bottles right now.
Go figure. Everything else in fucking...
Everybody's having trouble with everything right now. We can't get hats right now because there's a hat shortage for like all the apparel companies to do embroidery and everything on.
It's just hard to believe these motherfuckers won't go back to work. That just blows my mind. I mean, it's everywhere.
I think it's material sourcing too. It's everything kind of when the pandemic hit, the places that stayed open were eating up all the, materials and whatnot. And, some of those places shut down that were producing raw materials. And that's where you find that shortage, because basically all the surplus had been used up. And then when when people started going back to work, it was, all surpluses of raw materials were kind of gone.
Yeah.
There's some fucker somewhere that's got a whole bunch of fucking nylon he's wanting someone to make some fucking hats into, and they won't come to fucking work, and he's pissed off.
I'll tell you who I'm worried for are the guys in Canada this year, because we've heard some reports that the guys are just canceling by the dozens. And last year they had the benefit of just closing completely. But this year they're gonna try to run. They're gonna try to operate. They're gonna have operating costs. They're gonna have overhead. And if these guys keep canceling like they did last week and the week before, those are the guys that are gonna take it on the chin just from trying to, run hunts this year.
Yeah, I got a buddy, an acquaintance back home that had actually purchased like 3 zones before last year. So he took it on the chin last year, not even getting to run the business when he put all that money out. And then this year, I don't even think he's going to try it this year, just because bookings were so hard to get, and it's such a pain to get up there and get back that he doesn't even want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I read a tweet today that somebody's friends with someone that works for Wynn in Las Vegas, and I guess Nevada just put on a second mask mandate now that you got to wear in casinos, and said they had 12,000 room cancels today.
Wow.
And that's just faking 2 nights maybe at that place. I don't know how many rooms they got, but still, people don't want to do this shit. All right, let's get into football. We can talk all this shit later.
Jeff's fucking excited.
Well, Jeff, on one before we do that, one thing I want to get your thoughts on this, and this came to me secondhand today. I haven't seen exactly what it was, but apparently a Tennessee judge stated that DeSantis had no power whatsoever to not allow mask mandates, not allow the schools to mandate masks. So it's looking like that's going to go to the Supreme Court because, DeSantis is going to take that all the way.
Why the fuck is it in Tennessee?
I don't understand. States have rights, and he's the governor of a state, and he has rights that the federal government don't have.
Well, and Alan West explained it.
That's
to
exactly
us.
what I said.
Alan West explained it to us.
He's got a
There's
constitutional
some article.
right. It's separation of states is what it is. And he's got the right to do that. And the thing is, though, what's sad is you get a liberal judge in there, and they don't do things the way they're supposed to. And there's conservative judges that don't do things the way you're supposed to. You're supposed to do what the law says. And I do not know what the law says on that. I have way above my pay grade, but he has the right to mandate what he wants to mandate, and he was voted in by the people of the state of Florida, and elections have consequences, and they're going to have to live with some of that. What I think is bullshit about that is the federal government, Biden and them coming in saying, hey, to the Miami-Dade School District, listen, if he cuts out your state school funding, we're going to give it to you.
Right.
Where the fuck are they getting that money from? Mm-hmm. They ought to have to, they just can't write that.
Because it fits politically, they're going to write. They're basically bribing a school.
You can't
do bribery.
That. You can't do that. That's not the arm of the.
It makes sense politically because Miami is extremely Cuban. Cubans predominantly vote Republican. Yes. Because of where they came from, and they know socialism and communism is not the way to go. And so they're trying to make inroads, in that area to try and flip Florida, just like they're doing what they can in certain areas of Texas to try and flip Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're losing that battle, it looks like, because down in the Rio Grande Valley, it's turning redder by the day. And people are sick of this shit. I mean, everybody's tired of this stuff. There wasn't 81 million people that voted for that bastard anyways, and people are tired of it.
If they are, they're awfully quiet today.
Yes, they are. Okay, let's talk football because there's people tuning in this that don't give a shit about nothing. The other people are tuning us out that don't want to hear football, so now we're going to talk football. Okay.
I bet we still got some people.
I think it's more people tuning out.
Yeah, I think there's people that don't like football, but they're still listening. So
well, they probably do because our numbers show that they don't turn off all the way. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to pick our division winners and our conference winners and our Super Bowl champs. And since you're our guest, Trevor, I'm going to let you go first. The AFC East: Buffalo, Miami, New England, and the Jets. Who are you picking to win that division?
Buffalo.
Andy.
Buffalo.
We all took Buffalo. Okay. The AFC North. Baltimore.
I will say that.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I will say this, though. I think my wild card, one of the wild cards, is going to come out of that division, too. And I do believe so I'm going to have to eat my words on Mac Jones, but I think if Mac Jones starts over half of the season, that they'll end up being a wild card team.
Well, me and you've got the same picks for wild cards, but we were going to do we're going to come back and do wild cards.
Okay.
The NFC North.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
That's okay. AFC North: Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Who you taking?
It's an ugly division.
Man,
I'm taking Cleveland.
They're gonna beat up on each other. That Dobbins injury hurts. Gus Edwards is good, but he's not Dobbins. I think I'll never pick the Steelers, even if I think they're going to win. So I'm going to say Cleveland.
I'm taking Cleveland.
Baltimore.
And Baltimore. Andy's got Baltimore.
I got Lamar Jackson in my first fantasy football draft. I am riding that Baltimore train, baby.
That motherfucker fell to the last round almost in a one. Now we're in one quarterback. It was in the seventh round. And when Andy took him, everybody snickered still.
Seventh round.
He's not getting
seventh. Hold on.
In the seventh round,
dude. Lamar Jackson. Every draft I've been in, Lamar Jackson's been going second or third round.
He was the seventh quarterback taken.
It's him and Mahomes going second and third round. I think Mahomes went one in one of them. And then his are in one quarterback leagues. And then another quarterback doesn't get drafted until maybe the 6th or 7th.
He was the 7th quarterback in our league. And Andy, now hold on, just for Andy. Andy was wanting to take Russell Wilson, and the guy took Russell Wilson in front of him because Andy's like, fuck, I guess I got to take Lamar Jackson.
I was going to take Russell Wilson in the 4th. And then I waited 3 rounds, and finally it's like, dude, you got to fucking take him, regardless of if he works out or not.
Andy, no quarterback until the 7th round.
Well,
I took Dak in
I
Dak in the 4th. I took Dak in the 4th.
See, but
I got Dak in 2 leagues, once in the back end of the 7th and once in the middle of the 8th. No, front end of the 8th.
Well,
bargain shoppers.
I wasn't going to take Lamar Jackson either. I don't like a quarterback that can't throw the ball. I mean, that's just the bottom line to it. But he is very dangerous. He's a good fantasy player, but not a fan.
I took Dak over Kyler. I mean, I was taking Dak as the 3rd quarterback in the 7th and 8th round. It's just you guys and the people you play with take quarterbacks early.
Oh no, not now. Our other league that we're in that we're drafting Sunday, that's a 2 quarterback flex league. And
yeah, you have
fucking
to.
all the quarterbacks will be gone. All the good quarterbacks will be gone by the middle of the 3rd round.
So here's a question for you: if you're playing in a super flex league, how many of the top quarterbacks do you want? And well, let's say top 15 quarterbacks. I don't even know what that would be. I can look it up real quick.
Well, I can tell you this right now. I have a super flex league that I drafted last night. I had the number 1 pick. I went with can't remember if I went with Mahomes or McCaffrey number 1. I think I went with Mahomes because it's a dynasty super flex league. I think I went with Mahomes, then went McCaffrey on the back end of the 2nd round. But I got both of them, and then I ended up getting Josh Allen too.
Oh shit!
Nobody was drafting quarterbacks. Like, it was stupid.
Fuck.
There were some dumb fuckers in your league then. If you're getting that,
you're set just on those 3 players alone.
Yeah.
But for me, I want to have 2 top 15 quarterbacks. I want one of the top 5 if I can get them. And then I want to round it out with a guy like Roethlisberger, Stafford. Brady's pretty high up there just because of what he did last
12.
year.
Kirk Cousins,
yeah, he's good, but so
Big Dick
Cousins gets slept on, but he was QB 10 last year.
His problem is he's got a lot of injuries right now. He's dealing with on his offense. He's lost his tight end. Justin Jefferson's hurt. I don't think it's anything.
He didn't throw to tight ends last year anyway.
No, but they were using Irv Smith more and more. He's never thrown to the tight end much. Well, he did Jordan Reed in a little bit, but not much. Okay, let's go on to the next. Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. I took Tennessee.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to go Tennessee. I mean, outside of Tennessee, that division is trash.
Yeah, especially with Indy's got all their battle. They're beat up to hell now, injury wise, anyways.
I think their defense is going to be good. It's going to keep them in games. They're going to be 17 games now. I could see them going 10-7. I haven't looked at their schedule, but like a 10-7 season, like good but not playoff.
Yeah,
good.
they got a good solid team. I go for that. You got who do you have one in Tennessee?
Yeah, I don't see Indianapolis improving enough. Now they're out with T.Y. Hilton for a while. I think it's Tennessee's to lose.
Okay, the AFC West. I've got the Chiefs winning. And going about 14-3 probably, if they stay injury-free, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's another division. Yeah, Chiefs.
So it's Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, and
Vegas.
Chargers.
Chargers, yep. Now, my wild cards in the AFC, there's 3 wild card teams. I'm taking San Diego, or the Chargers. I've got Baltimore, and I've got New England as my other wild card team.
Las Vegas.
Ooh.
I'm all in on Gruden, Jeff.
Okay.
And then let me see the list. Who did I can't remember who the fuck I took.
I got mine in my head right now.
Go ahead.
New England, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I think the AFC North is going to have 3 teams in playoffs.
Okay, Vegas, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
See, I think we're all.
So you have the same 3. You have AFC North having 3 too, just in a different order.
Basically, yes.
I don't have any faith in Roethlisberger anymore. I think he's too old, and If he stays healthy, I see where both y'all could be right, but I don't see him staying healthy.
He's lost a lot of weight. He looks good.
I do think Vegas. I think Vegas will make a strong push at it. I think the Raiders will be good this year.
All right, let's go to the NFC now. I've got Dallas winning the division as much as I hate it. Dallas, New York, Philly, or D.C.
You don't think Gardner Minshew is going to be a?
I don't think Gardner Minshew starts.
I don't think so either.
Jalen Hurts' last 4 starts were very, very good.
Dallas.
It's gonna be a competition. I think it shows that they don't have trust in Hurts. But yeah, I don't see Gardner Minshew starting, even though he's my spirit animal.
You that should be your Halloween costume this year. You can pull it off. You should go to Jacksonville, hit up the bars.
I've already done it.
Oh, you have?
I've already done it. Oh, but now I'm in Florida.
That's right. You go to fucking Jacksonville.
But I gotta shave the beard.
That's all right. Do
You'll
it.
be all right. Get you a little mustache going on. You'll be having all the chicks going home with you in Jacksonville. You fucking Gardner Minshew.
I'm too short and
That's
too
okay.
fat though, and too
That's
ugly.
okay. Feed them drinks, they'll never know. So we're all going Dallas.
True. Just roll in at one. I'm going Redskins.
Ooh.
I hope you're right. NFC North.
It's magic, baby.
I hope you're right. Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Green Bay in a runaway.
I don't know if it's in a runaway if they start Fields. Fields has looked good, but it's still going to be Green Bay by about 3 games.
That's a runaway.
Fields will start week 3 or week 4.
Yeah, I think so too. You're taking Chicago, or you're taking Green Bay also?
I'm taking Green Bay.
And then in the Central, I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Central, South,
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, South. Weakest division. I mean, it's the easiest division in football.
Tampa Bay.
Yep. Then in the West, I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
So now Arizona's like number 3 in your deal?
They're a wild card,
okay.
Jeff. They're a wild card.
Andy earlier told me Arizona's going to win it all. So
I never said that.
Arizona be my dark horse from the NFC. I'm going San Fran.
Okay.
When does Trey Lance start in your mind?
To win the division.
Week 2.
He does not start. He does not start
You
this
don't think
year.
so? Think they do the smart thing? Let him rest. Let him learn.
Nope. Unless Garoppolo gets hurt, he does not start. Unless Garoppolo gets hurt, or they are 2-5.
Well, they're not going to platoon them then.
So mid season.
Okay,
No.
I'd read that they were going to platoon them, which that's never a recipe to win.
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have
I
none.
think that's horrible.
That's exactly right.
Okay, wild card. I'm taking Seattle, New Orleans, and where the fuck did my other one go? Oh, I didn't take another one. Seattle, New Orleans, and D.C., Washington, D.C.
I've got Washington. I've got Arizona. And then San Fran.
Dallas, Chicago, and Seattle.
Ooh, boy, we're really off on this one. Not together.
It's tough. The NFC is a tough conference.
The NFC's NFC's a lot closer together in talent level than AFC is.
My
say.
Super Bowl teams are Buffalo and the Rams, with Buffalo winning.
You think Matt Stafford? You think so?
You're high.
Matt Stafford. You've seen his body of work for 12 years or however long he's been playing.
Yep.
15.
Yep.
You think he's a winner all of a sudden?
He never had Aaron Donald.
Well, he is a winner.
Well, I don't know about all that shit. He's a choke artist.
No, if you put talent around him, he's never had talent. All he had was Calvin Johnson.
I've seen him miss Calvin Johnson and throw it to the defensive back on the other team in the fourth quarter many times when everything was on the table.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
so,
but that word is that's very loose anymore. And he's only 33 fucking years old. I mean, he's got 5 years left.
5 shit. He's probably got 7 years left in him. He ain't taking that many hits.
Well, I don't know, but I'm taking them to go to the Super Bowl this year because he's got the best team he's ever had, and he's a good quarterback. And the Rams are a whole lot better with him than they were Jared Goff, and they were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago and almost won the motherfucker.
Yeah, well, Todd Gurley was Todd Gurley back then too.
Now they can get Todd Gurley again.
Maybe it'll be Sony. Maybe it'll be Sony Michel. My prediction to go to the Super Bowl, and it's not because I'm a homer. It's just because I don't think Green Bay, Buffalo.
And who's going to win?
Green Bay.
Okay.
And then Aaron Rodgers is going to ride off into the sunset.
He'll be back in 2 years in Buffalo, Green Bay. He'll be back next year in Green Bay too.
Hey, you can do your Super Bowl prediction, and then I'll ask you the question.
Green Bay and the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's hard not. I mean, fuck. Andrew Luck. You think we ever see him again, or is the ship sailed? Done.
Go to Colorado to a high school game and watch. Why does he want to come back to play football?
I think your speculation of him getting hooked on painkillers might have been right.
And Jeff thought I was blaspheming.
Yeah, but then in another episode after that, Jeff was all about. I think he was hooked on painkillers.
He does that quite often.
Jeff
Review the tape. He does that quite often.
Flops.
Andrew Luck.
He cherry picks your good ideas,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Andrew Luck is lost between his ears. He's a very intelligent person. He never was a football player. Football player's football player. He was the dork that could play quarterback. Let's face it, quarterbacks, a lot of them are fucking dorks. Tom Brady, if he wasn't a football player, nobody would notice fucking Tom Brady. He's a dork.
I don't think he's a dork.
What would you call him?
He's not a fucking dork. Why would he be a dork?
Brett Favre is not a dork.
No.
Aaron Rodgers is a fucking dork.
I don't think.
He's a fucking goober.
Yeah.
He is.
Dork?
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a little liberal snowflake weirdo that nobody
he might
likes.
be a weird. I don't know about dork.
Except
dork,
Andy.
I think of like.
He's not a dork.
I think of Andrew Luck, like
awkward.
Okay, I'll go with awkward.
Okay,
yeah. But I don't think Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's awkward.
Tom Brady is very, very.
Well, yeah,
centered.
because he's won a bunch of fucking Super Bowls. But when he first come up as a Michigan, did you see Michigan? They've got their Hall of Honors that you can walk through when you go onto the football field, and they got these likenesses, and they got Tom Brady. Fucking Tom Brady wasn't even a fucking afterthought at Michigan. That's what's fucking hilarious. He's
a god in Michigan.
Yeah, they've got fucking.
He won a bowl game.
Well, he ain't no fucking. He was backup to Drew. God, what was that guy's name? That played for the Cowboys and everybody else in baseball.
Henson.
Drew Henson.
Yes.
Henson.
Can't even remember the guy's name. You know, Taylor Lewan, he's a fucking stud from Michigan. Desmond Howard is a stud from Michigan. Charles Woodson, stud from Michigan. Tom Brady.
Taylor Lewan.
Tom Brady's that.
Oh, that tackle.
Tom Brady's some fucking awkward dude that got lucky and made a career. Hell of a football player, the greatest quarterback ever. I'm not denying that, but he's an awkward gentleman. Aaron Rodgers is. Andrew Luck is.
No.
Philip Rivers isn't.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Jeff, you understand if Tom Brady was not a football player, he'd be a fucking supermodel.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
There's a lot of good-looking guys out there that ain't supermodels.
But he's not awkward and he's not a dork like you're saying. You're using the wrong
Do you
adjective.
think you'd hang out with Tom Brady?
If he'd let me.
Now, if he wasn't a football player, he would just be some awkward dude that says stupid jokes. He would be.
I don't think so, Jeff.
Brett Favre is the kind of dude you'd want to hang out with. Aaron Rodgers is not. Aaron Rodgers is that liberal cocksucker you don't
Well,
like.
we both like Scotch, Jeff. So
You and who?
me and Rodgers.
I never knew you liked Scotch. Does he
yeah.
have them with Milky Ways also?
I'm sure if he knows what's good for him. Yeah, no, me and Rodgers we couldn't hang out. There's no way.
What about Andrew Luck? Same way.
No, he's a little odd.
Okay.
But Tom Brady has never given me the vibe.
And Andy, why could you and Rodgers not hang out?
Different political parties. Number one, and
I just thought he was too smart to hang out.
Yeah, like he would be way above my head on a lot of shit he'd talk about. I would not. I'm not near as deep. I'm not deep enough to have a conversation with Aaron Rodgers.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that even though politically we don't align, that I could probably have a good conversation with him.
See,
Now I might walk away being like, this dude's freaking weird, but I have some friends that are like that. Every time I have a conversation with them, I'm like, this dude's weird, but I like it.
him a little bit. But yeah, I think he would get bored of me in a
The
in a
Manning
hurry.
boys, same way.
Yeah.
Dorks. They said Peyton Manning, we had friends that went to UT, University of Tennessee at the same time. Penny loafers, slacks, and a dress shirt every single day of class. Tucked in. Straight tuck, no pull.
I just think the Mannings are good old fashioned dumb hillbillies.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
I don't think they're dorks. I don't think they're dorks. I just think they're good old fashioned dumb hillies that don't know any better, and they're just kind hearted people that just don't know any better.
I don't think they're Mannings. I think there's a family that hunts with us that sends us a Christmas card every year.
Yeah.
And I think they're long lost cousins somewhere. I really do. They've got that perplexed, confused look on their face, Andy. They always do.
Oh yeah.
This is the old man that helped Andy pick up the trailer by getting behind Andy and squatting with both arms around Andy.
He hunched me. He hunched me. He did.
Quarterbacks are either super jock, cool dudes that everybody want to hang out with, or they're fucking goobers. And Troy Aikman's another one, and I think Troy Aikman's a prick. I don't like Troy Aikman.
Never met Troy Aikman.
I don't know Troy Aikman, but he's a super jock type of guy though. He's the kind of guy everybody want to hang out with.
Popping towels in the shower.
Yeah, Brett Favre is that dude. Tom Brady is not.
You're
that
talking
dude.
about both sides of your mouth. You don't want to hang out with Troy Aikman because he's weird. But
No. I didn't say he was weird. I bet he's an asshole.
Okay. What were we saying, Trevor?
Here's one that I think falls in the middle. That isn't super cool, isn't super dorky, has a little bit of both. Dak Prescott.
Yes.
I think Dak's just
Seems
guy.
I would wanna hang out with Dak just because he seems freaking normal.
He does.
Like one of the few people that seems normal. Where on the other hand, like Zeke seems so out of left field that I want to hang out with him too because like he's gonna be fun.
You're watching Hard Knocks.
No matter what.
I'm telling you right now, I cannot stand bug-eyed Zeke Elliott. Never, ever, ever until I've watched.
You love him now,
He's
though.
hilarious. He could be a fucking goose hunting
But
guy.
how did you never see that? Because that's like been on display since he came in, like since he was playing
He looked like
football. Why everybody loves it.
Yeah, he's always been a character.
a fucking Neanderthal jumping in the Starvation Army pod at Texas Stadium, so that's why I grew up not liking him. I don't like the Dallas Cowboys, so it's hard for me to like one of their players. But when I watched Hard Knocks, I'm going to tell you right now, Zeke could sit at that guides table at night every night and be with us cutting up and would fit right in. And when you see him eat that fucking fruit roll up the way he rolls it up and eats it, like, what a fuck up.
So I think it's awesome that him and Dak are such great friends because it makes perfect sense. Like Dak kind of keeps him a little bit under control, but like Zeke keeps the personality in the Dak. But my favorite part of the last episode was the mailroom guy just whooping their ass in spades and talking shit to him.
Like, bitch, I'm out of here now. And walked up and threw his cards down at the end.
Don't ever invite me to come back here. Just whoop their ass.
It makes you feel good to see a guy that's making $40,000 a year in the mailroom for the Cowboys, hanging out with guys that are making $40 million a year, and being equal with them at that table, and knowing that they treat him like that all the time. It's not just a TV deal. And
and Dak being like, hey man, he's Cowboys royalty, like he's fourth generation, like respecting that.
Yeah.
Now a little bit of it might have been put on, but the fact that without the cameras rolling, Dak had him playing with him in a spades tournament, you know it's legit too. And that's the kind of guy that I think Dak is. That's why I've always liked Dak as a quarterback, not just because he's extremely talented, but he seems like genuinely.
He seems like a good guy. I mean, he lost his mom and his brother killed himself. I mean, he's got a hell of a story. I'll tell you what's really crazy about watching. Every time there's a show like that, there's some guy that comes out that turns out to be a good guy that everybody likes. And when it was the show Last Chance U, the first one was Ronald Ollie, the big guy that was an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, and he become everybody liked him. You know, here's a poor kid, you can't
world-class fuck up though.
Yeah, can't spell cat if you give him CA, but everybody liked him. And then the coach turned out to be the fucking dick everybody can't stand. Well, on the Hard Knocks, Jerry Jones is one facelift away from being dead. God, he looking old, and he just Jerry, and I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to play football for him. Jesus, he'll give you anything in the world to win, but he just can't get out of his own way.
Well,
What'd you guys think about that continuous drone shot at the beginning going through the practice facility? That was freaking
It
incredible.
almost made me throw up.
why?
Jesus, you get dizzy. That motherfucker went and went. It was amazing, though. They fly through the Ford. What a fucking guy that self-promotes himself. Jeez, they do a good job.
Did you see the blooper at the end where they were trying to fly through the statue and hit the edge of the statue and wreck the drone?
No, I didn't. I turned it off. I think I had to take a shit after so much Dallas Cowboy stuff. Thought I got to go take a dump.
But I heard an interesting thing that said the Cowboys will never win because they don't have that dog in them. They got it's too pampered. Whereas when Belichick was at his height, when he was at his greatest, they always had the underdog mentality, and nobody's taking us seriously. And you look at the facilities for the Cowboys, and it's red carpet everywhere. Mike Tyson, whenever he was at his prime, it was a dump.
I'm gonna disagree with you on the fact that Dallas won't win because of not having the dog in them. I don't think that they're lacking the dog. I think their problem is Jerry Jones falls in love with these players, and he cannot separate business from his loyalty or wanting to be friends with somebody.
Now that is very
he
true.
overpaid.
Yeah, big time.
DeMarcus Lawrence should not have that contract.
It's horrible.
You could. Now, don't get me wrong; he's very good, but you could get 2 solid defensive linemen for the contract of 1 superstar defensive lineman, and probably get the productivity or not better.
Yeah, they overpaid for him. They overpaid on Zeke by a ton.
He overpays for mediocre players
all the time, and
well, Zeke's not mediocre.
He has been the last 3 years.
But he doesn't have anything to go around him either. His line
is Trevor wearing Dallas Cowboy sunshades over there?
His line is deteriorating, and that's what's kind of affected Zeke more than anything.
Silver and blue.
He didn't even have 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah, well,
he
Jeff,
didn't have 1,000 yards.
When you have no threat of passing and you stack the box with 8, who's in your opinion, who's the greatest running back of all time? Because he's not going to get 1,000 yards if you're stacking the box with 8 or 9 guys every freaking
Earl
play.
Campbell would.
No, he would
bullshit.
not.
He had 1,000 yards and they stacked it on him all the time. He had Dan Pastorini throwing the fucking ball.
The juice might be the only one.
Yeah, back in Earl Campbell's days, he was a man among boys. You have absolute studs at the dude that is the star on that college team is going to be the 53rd man on the bench.
What do you think is going to be different this year for Dallas?
At the NFL level now? But back then they had plumbers playing.
Yeah, that was
this year. I just think Dak.
Okay, but
Dak's gonna be.
But Dak don't block, and they're still not. They have.
No,
they've had trouble running the ball the last 3 years. This ain't just a gradual thing. Even with Dak, they had trouble running the ball 2 years ago. But when Dak was there the first 4 games, they were having trouble running the ball. Dallas has had offensive line issues. There's no doubt about it. They haven't addressed those line issues. They got the same guys they've had the last 5-6 years.
But there's at least that threat of throwing the football.
I'm
you
not
have
denying
3
that part.
number 1 receivers.
Not denying that.
You have 3 top receivers and decent tight end play. The safeties are going to have to back out of the box. The linebackers are going to have to play a little bit safer. It's going to open the run game up. And then when the run game starts taking up, it's going to open up play action. They're going to have, if Dak stays healthy for 16 games, which I think he will. I think it was a freak accident that happened last year. If Dak plays 16 games, they're going to have a top 3 offense in the entire NFL. Now, their defense needs work. I really like who's that linebacker Parsons this year?
Parsons.
Parsons looks legit. Micah Parsons with Vander Esch, if he can stay healthy, I think that's a good little combo at linebacker. I think they have a good defensive line. I think their secondary needs a little it'll work. But Keanu Neal's going to mix in at safety and probably outside linebacker. He's gonna go back and forth because he's more of that in the box type safety, anyways. And he was a stud in Atlanta. He was just hurt all the time. But I think their defense is going to be okay. It's not going to be good. I mean, they're going to get in the shootouts. They're going to win games 35-31. But I really think the offense is going to be top 3 offense in the entire NFL if Dak plays all 16 games.
I think they're going to do the same thing offensively, but I don't think it's going to be because Zeke is a top 10 running back.
And I'm going to regret not taking more stock in the Cowboys in fantasy football.
Well, I took Dak. I like Dak. He's my quarterback I drafted because of that. I had him last year. He's a stud. They're going to have to throw the ball to win because their defense is very overrated because they're Cowboys, and every year in August they're Super Bowl bound. I picked them to win the division. I think they win the division. I think their biggest problem is going to be if they have any injuries on that front four, and the Redskins are going to be hell if they stay healthy on the front four, and they're going to wear Dak's ass out if they do. And another thing that's an issue was going to be with Dak, and it's not an issue of mine, but it's going to be probably he didn't take the shot. And his COVID protocols.
How do you know he didn't take the shot?
He won't tell nobody he's had it. So I'm assuming if he's not saying he hadn't, if he's telling everybody it's none of their business if he gets it or not, I'm assuming he didn't have it. Just
Andy, it's like only 35% of African Americans in the country have taken the vaccine.
Yeah. And so I think he's not taking the shot, and
which I don't blame him.
No,
either.
I ain't taking that shit. But if his protocol is going to be like Cole Beasley's, it's going to be different. And I think somewhere during the season, the way things are going, it's going to be a factor where he's not going to get a play on a Sunday.
Well, we'll know because I saw Cousins. Cousins didn't take the shot, and he's having to wear a mask on the sideline. So you'll know
if he's been around anybody that's had it. That's why Cousins is having to wear it. Same with Cole Beasley right now.
I don't know what the fucking protocol is.
I don't either. But anyways, I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the division.
I'm
not going to go records. I just think they'll win the division. The team, my dark horse team. I'm going to take a dark horse team. Last year I took Buffalo, and I was pretty close on that. They had a hell of a run.
You were a year early.
I was a year early, but that was my dark horse team. That's what dark horse. I had somebody the other day. A dark horse team's going to be the fucking Chiefs. They went to 2 fucking Super Bowls. How the hell's that a dark horse team? I'm gonna my dark horse team in both divisions to be good is going to be the New York Giants and going to be the Miami Dolphins. I think Miami Dolphins coach is a really good coach. I really do. And
the Giants?
The Giants. If Danny Dimes gets Kenny Golladay healthy and they get that first-round draft pick, Kadarius Toney healthy, I can see Shanahan shaking his head over there. The Giants could be a surprise if Saquon comes back.
I can't see you, Jeff.
Well, I know.
I hate that I can't see you, Jeff.
Andy has it that way.
I can't. It's on the laptop. There's nothing I can do about it.
But I can see you shaking your head at me. Those are my dark horse teams. If they don't do shit, it's a dark horse pick. But those are a team for each division that wouldn't surprise me if they sneak into the wild card mix.
Didn't one of my dark horse picks end up in the Super Bowl one of the years that we were doing this?
San Francisco.
Yep.
Did they win? They won the same amount of Super Bowls my dark horse team did last year. Buffalo didn't win it.
Now, in your dark horse fantasy world, is Miami getting Watson, or are they going with Tua?
I don't know. That Deshaun Watson deal is going to be a major thing because he's a big-time talent. What's going to happen if a team like Dallas gets hurt and they thought, you know what, fuck it, we'll make a trade for him because we got a chance to win the Super Bowl this year.
Why would Dallas trade for him?
I'm just saying if Dak got hurt again or something. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Right.
But if a team like Tampa Bay, if Tom Brady got knocked out for the season, they're a quarterback away. Is somebody like that –
Kyle Trask, baby. Kyle Trask.
But if somebody like that has an injury –
He looked good in the preseason.
Yeah, he didn't look bad. Hold on. Before you go any further. The bonehead pick of the last draft that we had.
It might bite us in our ass, though.
I don't think it's going to.
He's going to take him again Sunday.
5th round, Ramondre Stevenson goes off the board.
Fifth round.
Fifth or sixth. It was before I took Lamar Jackson.
And it's my buddy Harry, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Because he come in, he works for us. He comes at the lodge, and the day of that game, he's like, did you see the guy have the 90-yard running back?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, he looks good. He said, yeah, I'm going to take him this year. I said, well, I wouldn't get too excited with New England because he's like a fifth-round guy, or fifth. He was the fifth on the depth chart then. And I said, Bill Belichick, it doesn't matter who. So he comes in today. He said, he looked good, and he did yesterday. He looked real good for him again.
Probably against second and third stringers.
He's probably that's what Payne said. He's going to be a second round. He's going to end up being.
But Belichick has never had a workworkhorse back.
Never, and I told him that. I said, if you had Damian Williams right now, it'd be hard to start him.
Right, and I've got Harris. I got Harris. Damian Harris.
That's New England's right.
Yeah.
It's hard to start him because you don't ever know what's going to happen with New England.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he did fifth or sixth round. Ramondre Stevenson. We were like, what in the fuck are you doing? You can get him in the 15th round.
I've been getting him. So I've been taking Justin Fields last round, kicker, defense, Stevenson.
Yeah.
So it's been four rounds from then is when I've been getting Stevenson.
He's like, I just looked at the running backs and I didn't like anything.
He's a Harris. Ooh, that ain't really. He's a Harris injury away, or honestly, with Belichick, he's a Harris fumble or two away from getting some.
I'm not saying that the guy's not good. He played at Oklahoma. Oklahoma don't recruit bad running backs.
But what's the game going to be that you can bank on putting him in your lineup?
There's probably not going to be one. I told him, I said I wouldn't start him. I said, do yourself a favor in our league. Don't take him until about the 14th round. I said,
He'll
okay.
be there.
I said, because he'll be there for you. Ain't nobody going to take him. Now.
Who was his number one running back?
God almighty.
I can look it up. I can look it up.
I'll tell you, I had the Mr. Irrelevancy pick in our draft. I took Trevor Lawrence with the last pick of our draft, and I got home and I was pissed off because I didn't take Deshaun Watson. Because it's a one quarterback league.
I don't think Watson's going to play this year.
I don't know, but I've got Stafford and I've got Dak, and so it's a one quarterback league. I'm not ever going to need one of those. Those two should be perfect all year, one of them. But I took Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I would.
I think that what I was telling Andy a minute ago, if somebody that's just a quarterback, a team with a really good quarterback gets hurt and they need a quarterback and they're a top 5-10 team, someone might get desperate and make a deal for Deshaun Watson. Imagine Seattle if Russell Wilson had a season-ending injury. Quarterback away.
You're assuming that he's going to be allowed to play.
He's on the 53-man roster. The NFL said they're not doing it until February.
So I have a question for you. Was Trey Lance or Justin Fields available when you drafted Trevor Lawrence?
Nobody took. They didn't even get drafted. I'm not planning on using them anyway.
So year one, the upside on either one of those, I think long run Trevor Lawrence, yes, but if you're doing a redraft league, a one quarterback redraft league, you're just going to look for that like rookie spark from somebody who can run the ball and his legs aren't worn out like a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance, just that absolute athlete to try and get like that RG3 rookie year. I probably wouldn't have gone Stafford. A bulk of my drafts, I've gone Dak and Justin Fields because I figure by the time we get to a bye week for Dak, Justin Fields is going to starting. So if I got there, if I have somebody else on my roster get a bye week fill in at quarterback, usually the waiver wire has somebody, but the upside of Fields is so much higher than Trevor Lawrence from like a back half of the season standpoint. So it's like, okay, Trevor Lawrence is obviously going to probably play more in the first 8 games than either one of those two will. But the last 9 games of the season, who do you think is going to have a better last 9 games? And I think those two stand a much better chance to have a better 9-game stretch at the end going in the playoffs than Trevor Lawrence does.
Well, this league's a 10-team league, so you can pick up a quarterback anytime later. And I'm hoping to hell Dak's there all year long anyways. But Justin Fields has got a higher upside, I think, than Trevor does. Or Trey or any of the other young quarterbacks, but I took Trevor Lawrence just at the end. I won't even probably have him after week 1. I'll probably pick somebody else up anyways, and it won't be a quarterback. Might be just a position deal. Might be Gus Edwards.
I looked it up. He's good at running back. He's got Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Jones.
2 great running backs.
So he's solid there.
So I don't mind that. I don't mind that Stevenson pick. It was just way too early.
Yeah, no shit. I was like, what the fuck?
He could have got. He probably could have gotten. Well, I'm sure Waller would have been gone by then, but he probably could have gotten like a third wide receiver.
He's got Mike Evans,
as a flex
Mike
spot.
Evans, and Amari Cooper, his starting receivers. He's got Cole Beasley.
Shit, that's
Cole
solid.
Beasley and
He could have gotten
Claypool.
a flex.
Let me tell you something about him.
Oh shit, Claypool.
He loves the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. So he got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Cole Beasley, and Dallas Goedert. So if you didn't play for the Cowboys still, you either had to be named Dallas or had played for them before to make his team.
He's got Dallas Goedert as his tight end.
Honest. Although in a 10-team league, that makes it a little bit. I mean, that's a good team, but in a 10-team league, it might be a little bit weak. But yeah, I mean, he could have gotten a stronger flex play in the 5th round than Stevenson. But who knows? Come playoff time, that might be a freaking RB1 type caliber player. You know, maybe he's smart. Maybe he's smarter than.
And here's the deal: he had a guy that he liked. It's fantasy football. I mean, it's nothing too serious. He had a guy that he liked. He took him. Yeah. He's on his team. He's happy about it. So, and you know, like you said, we might all be wearing fucking dunce hats at the end of the year because, or maybe Ramondre will work out for the guy. I hope he does.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who I took. I had the first pick, and I took Christian McCaffrey. My second pick, I took Joe Mixon. My third pick, I think I took DeAndre Swift.
No, you took Dak.
So you had the 20th pick, and you got Mixon at 20
or 21, whatever it is.
Your team is Dak.
No,
Dak, McCaffrey, Mixon, Ridley, Higgins. I think you went you went McCaffrey, Mixon, Dak, because you went McCaffrey first.
Joe Mixon,
and I think you went Ridley.
I went Ridley. Then I'll come back and go.
Yeah, Ridley wouldn't have made it.
And
to
then
the fourth. I can guarantee
you got Dak in the 4th, and I think
Higgins and DeAndre Swift, and I took the tight end at Redskins. What's his name?
Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas.
And then I forgot who else I got from
former quarterback.
Former quarterback. Props. Boy,
Arizona or Arizona State.
He's doing what
I don't know.
Oh, shit, I don't know. He's doing what Tebow said he was going to do. So props to Logan Thomas.
And he's going to make more money than Tebow did in football too, probably. No, because
when he got drafted, his rookie year they played him at quarterback, and then after that he transitioned to tight end.
Yeah. Yes.
He was only a quarterback for 1 year,
and then he bulked up, and
that's what Joe Flacco should have done after the year 5.
Yeah, poor guy. Now he's fucking just a guy on the Jets.
Except I run a faster 40 times than Joe Flacco.
That motherfucker can't run out of sight in a day.
Woo, it's bad.
All right, let's talk about a couple of things in football. Let's talk about J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is a huge loss for Baltimore because Gus Edwards can run the ball.
He's good. They signed him to they re-signed him on a pretty big contract.
He's a damn good runner.
So apparently Baltimore likes him.
He runs the ball real well. He's not a very good pass catcher. I think Justice Hill's going to become the third down back there is what I think is going to happen. And he was good at Oklahoma State.
He's been the third down back.
Yes.
He's been the third down back. So do you know how many receptions Gus Edwards has in like 40-some career games?
16.
5.
18.
That's close.
Damn it.
So Matthew Berry said 5.
Really?
Yeah, Matthew Berry said 5. It's 18. 18 in like 46 career games or something like that. So, basically 4 seasons worth of games. 3 or 4 seasons worth of games. A decent amount of them at starter. Not all of them, but 18 career receptions. He has no passing game relevance.
Yeah, and that's why I think that Justice Hill gets that. So that's going to kill him on fantasy deals. Today on the podcast shows, all them guys are like, well, he's a second-round running back now. I don't know about all that.
Gus Edwards?
Yes.
Second
That's what
round?
they.
No,
I wouldn't.
he's a borderline RB2 because he could be. Now he's probably more of a RB3 flex because I'm gonna say he finishes the year at RB22, RB25, somewhere in that range. So that puts him at an RB3.
Okay, what?
But no, his ADP, I think it jumped up after the injury. It jumped up to like still the 8th or 9th round.
Who? You said 22. Name the 10 teams with a starting running back that are going to be ahead of him.
Starting
I
running
mean, they're going
back?
to be behind him.
Because
There's 10 starting running backs.
I don't think there are.
Well, there's 30.
them.
There's 32
Houston.
teams, and he said he's going to be running back 22. So name the 10 teams that have a running back that's going to be behind Gus Edwards. Houston. Okay.
Houston.
San Francisco, maybe.
I mean, you're trying to do it off the top of your head. That's kind of tough.
No.
Okay.
Let me see your list.
Jacksonville.
James Robinson, maybe.
Hey, how about this? No, how about this? Run through the teams in alphabetical order, and I'll let you know.
Alphabetical.
Okay.
I could just go.
Arizona.
Yeah.
You don't
Arizona.
think Chase Edmonds will have a bigger year than him?
I don't think Buffalo has a running back
Hell
that's going to
no.
have a bigger
Nope.
year than.
Oh, they'll get a bunch of touchdown
Buffalo?
hawks, I think.
What are you talking about? You said yardage.
Yeah, but it's going to be split.
We're talking fantasy.
It's gonna be
he
split.
said 22
Total
he
points.
said running back ranked 22.
So you think Devin Singletary or Zach Moss is
One
going to
of
be
them
above Gus Edwards?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just
I said 22 to 25.
Okay.
Buffalo,
New
Arizona.
England.
he said 22, not me. New England, I would go for. I think Gus Edwards has a better year than any of the New England backs.
New England.
And I think the Jets backs, because they're talking about Tyrone Johnson.
Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. What's his?
No, Ty
Johnson or Michael Carter. So the Jets are dysfunctional anyways.
Yeah. Or Michael P. Ryan.
So we're at 5 already.
Although Zach Wilson.
What about
looked good.
Atlanta? Who does Atlanta have?
Mike Davis will have a be year than.
No, Mike Davis will be
Yeah, I think
good.
so too.
But here's the thing. You got to think there's going to be backup running backs like James White or whatever that has a better season than Gus.
Right.
Gus Edwards.
San Francisco's going to have
James,
2.
I'm not saying San Francisco might have 2.
But it's hard when you say he's going to be ranked 20. They're running back 22. It's hard to find 10 teams who's got backs that are going to be that might be worse than him.
Denver has 2, but they got Melvin Gordon and what's his nut?
I think they're going to split.
Yeah.
I think they're going to split too much.
Who was Booker playing for last? Oh, he was playing for the Giants. He was filling in for Saquon. But that's what I'm saying. Running backs are hard to find. That's why I believe in a fantasy draft, you need, unless you're in a situation and the top 5 or 6 backs go, and you want to get a Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, you better take some fucking running backs, because it's hard to find 16 running backs, half the league, that are 16 solid bell cow backs. They're just not. Chicago, you got David Montgomery. Well, he was really good last year because he didn't have Tariq Cohen blowing down his. But are they going to take him out and Tariq Cohen going to play third downs all the time?
Tariq Cohen's injured.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's not going to play for the first 4 or 5 games.
But when he comes back, is he going to get all the third down carries again? That's what I'm saying. Look at Tampa Bay. Who the fuck's going to be the running back there?
Yeah.
Ronald Jones, maybe.
Ronald Jones,
Well,
Leonard
let's put
Fournette,
it this
Gio
way.
Bernard.
My 12 team 1 QB 12 team money league. I rolled out of there with Alvin. I had the 5th pick. I rolled out of there with Alvin Kamara and Phil Lindsay as my running backs because I just kept taking. I kept taking wide receiver because I kept like, this dude's awesome. This dude's awesome. This dude's awesome. I was taking value over need, and it was at one point in time I think I wanted to get Mike Davis and I could have had him, but I was on the phone with some dude that was on the draft with me, and he was kind of distracting me a little bit, and I was like, man, I want to take Mike Davis, but he's got the same bye week as Alvin Kamara. Well, not thinking it's like punt 1 week for the betterment of the season.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't, and I just didn't have the time to think about it, and I passed on. He went next pick. Same with Gaskins. Went the pick after I was hoping he would roll back around to me, and it just didn't happen. But I made it. I was like, you know what? I got trade capital. So I made a trade and I made more than I got back, but I got back probably a RB1, RB2 between two guys because I got the Rams backfield. I got Michelle and Henderson for Galloway and Cortland Sutton. And I really didn't want to give Cortland Sutton up, but they were both on my bench. I would have rather done Galloway and Deontay Johnson than Galloway and Sutton.
Right.
Because I think Sutton's going to be a stud this year, but the league I'm in, I don't really know the guys, and they're being a pain in the ass to trade with. Like, I've offered some good trades, and they've just gotten rejected immediately. And then they just keep sending me shitty trades, and that was like one of the few halfway decent. And then I got in this from some guy working, and he's like, "Oh, they're talking about how you got raped," and I was like, "They look at my team now." I was like, I could afford to give up two bench wide receivers that are gonna. I was like, they're starters for other people, but they're bench players for me.
Right.
Because my wide receivers were stacked.
I'll tell you a player.
I had Ridley and Thielen and Deontay Johnson.
I'll tell you a
Those are
move
good.
that you got Philip Lindsay, that Tyrone, or what's the quarterback's name? Tyrod Taylor. He's going to be
Tyrod Taylor.
He's going to be Texans quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the Blake Bortles of about 5 years ago in the fantasy. He's going to score so many points in the middle of the third to the fourth quarter. He's going to be worth a roster spot.
Trash time.
Just because, tons of trash time because they're going to be absolutely horrible.
Trevor Lawrence is him for
Two
me.
QB league. Two QB league. I would definitely probably put some capital in the Tyrod Taylor because he can get points with his legs and he's going to get garbage time points.
So you think that it's going to be Trevor Lawrence is going to be the garbage time king this year?
They're going to be down in every fucking game they play in.
And he's got quality wide receivers too.
Right.
Who is the number one receiver at
Marvin.
Houston right now?
Brandon
in
Cooks.
Houston, Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Who's the second?
He'll
who's the
have
second one?
another 1,000-yard.
But who's their second wide receiver?
That I don't know.
Shit, Kiki Cutie, maybe.
I think you're right, and I think
Texas Tech,
is Darren Fells their tight end still, and
What's crazy is
Fells and
Ryan Griffith.
David Johnson went from top three back 2 or 3 years ago to he didn't even get drafted in this last draft we did.
David Johnson. Yeah, he got drafted in mine because I was trying to pair him up with Lindsey, and he got drafted earlier than I wanted him. I wanted to draft him, and I was like, duh.
He would make,
but I wanted to pair him up. I tried to, I went and paired up the Rams running backs in a trade. I dropped Lindsey because, I don't want Lindsey on his own because he's looked terrible in the preseason. He was averaging 2.5 yards per rush. So I dropped him, and we're in a budget free agency league. So I spent $1 and picked up Ty Johnson just because he's looked amazing in preseason.
he's going to be their starter too.
I'm banking on it.
Yeah,
because a dollar acquisition on free, we have $300 for the season. So I basically allocated $5 average per player because I want to be able to make 60 moves. So
I'll tell you,
doing $1 move right there is good.
I want to play in a league, and I had some guys were talking about this the other day on the radio, and I thought I would like to be in a league like this. It's $1,000 for the year for a team, and out of that, you get to buy your team that you want. It's not a draft; it's an auction. But whatever money you have left over after the auction is what you use for your free agent dollars during the season. So if you buy your whole team for $400, you can pick up who you want if you want to spend that money. But that's what the entry fee is $1,000. It costs you $1,000 to play, but you get $1,000. You can draft for $700, $800, $900, $1,000, but you can't pick nobody up, or they're free. But I thought, man, that would be a fun damn league to be into.
Be interesting.
See, I just try making $1,000 side bets.
Yeah.
The dude I work with was talking shit, and he has a trash team, and he was talking shit, and he was like, "Oh, make a side bet." I was like, $1,000. He's like, "I ain't doing that." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember when I was a bitch."
See,
he said that duck calling money's too rich for my blood.
Yeah. I went bold in this draft. I had the 5th pick, and I went Kelsey, number 1 overall. I wanted to separate, but I passed up Zeke. I thought I was going to get Saquon in the second, though. He got picked 1 pick ahead of me in the second.
10 team
10
league.
teams.
So I'm in a 12-team league. I had the 5th pick, and I was pissed because we did. So he did a 3 times randomization. He randomized all the picks once, twice, third. I ended up 5th. I'm like, son of a bitch, because literally I want to end up top 4 or bottom 3.
Right.
Ended up 5th, and I'm like, damn it. I said, okay. So in my head, Devontae, Kelsey, or Zeke. Well, 4th pick picks Devontae, and I say, give me Kamara.
He went.
So he changed my whole draft strategy, because I was going to go 0 RB. I was going Devontae Adams, freaking somebody else, and then Waller in the 3rd. But I ended up getting Kamara, Ridley in the 2nd, Waller in the 3rd.
Yeah.
And then Thielen in the 4th. I mean, my first 4 picks were solid for a 12-team league. Then I fell off a little bit. I should have gone. I think I went Deontay in the 5th, and I probably should have gone with like Myles Gaskin or Mike Davis. Should have solidified that running back spot, but I got a little caught up in the moment, just going for value over need. I think I wanted to go Dak in the 7th, and like 3 or 4 picks before me, somebody took him. So I ended up going 13th round, getting Kirk Cousins.
Not bad.
Which he was
that fucker bit me in my ass.
QB10 last year.
Every time I've ever had that cocksucker, I've had a bad year.
See, I went Kelsey,
You know who?
Najee, and then in the 3rd I got Gaskin, and then I think I got Justin Jefferson in the 4th.
I don't like Najee.
Well,
Ooh,
but
Jefferson lasted till the 4th.
Yep.
Damn.
Wide receivers. I told Jeff, because I went Kelsey, and like it was running back, and I was like, "There's not gonna be anybody fucking left by the time it gets to me in the 2nd round." So Najee was the.
Is it
Yes.
Is it PPR?
Yeah.
Full PPR or half PPR?
Full.
Yeah. So my 12-man money league is half PPR.
But I told Jeff, I'm like, if running backs keep going off the board like this, I'm not going to have anybody to fucking pick up in the 2nd round. And Najee was the top-rated running back whenever it got to me. So
we had one.
You got Najee and Gaskins?
Yeah.
I think in the first 2 rounds.
That's a solid backfield.
I think in the first 2 rounds we had Devontae, DeAndre Hopkins. Were they the only 2 wide receivers to go in the first 2 rounds?
I think so.
It was crazy because our other league is 14 teams, and it's a whole lot different. But and its quarterback runs a lot, but there's still be a lot. Once the wide receivers go, that first 5 or 6 receivers go real fast.
And then I got Cooper Kupp, which we'll see. And then I got Mike Davis, Damian Harris, and Robbie Anderson. We'll see.
That's a solid team.
We'll see.
Who's your quarterback?
Lamar Jackson in the 7th.
That's a solid team.
We'll see. All I want to do is beat Jeff. I don't care about any of these other schlubs.
Why do you want to beat me?
All right,
Jeff's the only one.
Jeff, what's your start?
What's my starting team?
What's your starting?
Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon.
What's his? Yeah.
I'm finding it.
Dak.
Okay, here I've got it. It's Dak, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, Calvin Ridley, T. Higgins, Logan Thomas, DeAndre Swift. And then
And what's your starting team? Lamar Jackson.
It's Lamar Jackson,
Najee,
Myles Gaskin, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Robbie Anderson, and a kicker and a D. But
you got Miles. You got
Miles Davis, Damian Harris.
Davis as a.
But right now, since it's PPR, I've got Robbie Anderson in at flex.
You have a good bench look like. What's his bench look like?
Hang on,
I'd have Mike Davis in at flex, but that's just me.
I don't know, PPR, that worries me. Hang on, I got to go load it up again. For whatever reason, our internet and our cells are not working in this building.
His starters are better than yours.
Well, I told him that off the deal anyways. It's always happens. I'm defending champion in the big league.
Yeah.
But Andy wants to argue with me all the time, which is pretty much the way we live our whole life.
Well, so I usually do IG Lives on Tuesday night. So unless my guest can do it a little bit earlier tomorrow, I might have to push it off until Wednesday. But I got we call it the Trash Ass League, and my team's name is T-Rex X's trash team because my team sucks. And I have won the league both times, and I have no clue because I have a team. It's a dynasty league, and I don't keep that many people. I think I keep like 10. It's a super deep league, super flex, IDPs. I mean, we have like 35 players on the team. I think I keep 10 out of my 35. So I'll start drafting in round 11.
All right, so Jeff's bench is DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Corey Davis, Marquez Callaway, Evan Ingram, Stafford, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, he is going to dick stomp you this year.
And then mine is Mike Davis.
I don't give a shit what your bench is.
Damian Harris, Joe Burrow, Jalen Waddle, Jamal Williams, Everett, and Rager was my last
Waddle. Waddle's a good pick. I think Waddle's going to be solid.
So, but
Jeff's going to stomp you. Jeff's going to stomp you in that league.
We'll see. And that's big honker. Tony's got a good team too. But in a 10-team league, they're all studs.
Now, and obviously, yeah, I'm calling it now. Jeff's going to beat you in that league.
There you go. And we'll let you know our lineup from our big draft this Sunday here at the Big Honker. Well, anyways,
how many more drafts you got this year?
I have my Dynasty Superflex League that I've won both years it's been in existence, and as I was telling Jeff, my team sucks. I have no clue how I've won it, but I have that tomorrow night at like 7:00. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's the best time of the year, fantasy football and hunting season. It's here finally.
Yeah, I'm ready for NFL to start, even though I don't get to watch many games live because I'm at work on Sundays. But
got to get it on your phone, baby.
I do, but Sundays are kind of a busy day for me. Yeah. Fall and winter.
It happens.
So.
Well, man, we appreciate you coming on here.
Can we talk about something?
Yeah.
Can we talk about something other than football and politics?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Just something other than football and politics. Well, definitely not duck calling, though.
Let's.
Here's the deal. Our youngest son is in town, and my wife has got dinner ready in about 10 minutes.
Well, hold on. What do you think migration this year? What do you think? You think it's going to be a good year or a bad year? Number one, the Dakotas and Canada, all that shit dried up.
Mikey said Kansas is bone dry as of today at Cheyenne Bottoms. He said there's hardly anything. They ain't no water to pump. And he called me today.
Crazy.
I have not talked to enough people up north to even have an inkling as to what the migration is going to be. I would say without them getting pounded on in Canada last year, all the young birds and everything, maybe a better hatch. I don't know. Well, I mean, it takes 2 to 3 years for them to get to breeding age anyway, so we might not see the effects of that for another 2 to 3 years. So, yeah. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Honestly,
who's on your Shanahan show tomorrow?
Well, it's supposed to be Kyle Jones, but like I said, I gotta draft at 7. So if he can't do it early, or late for him, late for me would be probably regular time for him if he's out in Washington. I don't know if he's out hunting or not, but if he's home in Washington, I could probably do it late for me and regular time for him. But it's supposed to be Kyle Jones talking about Washington State, Game Fair, a little bit about him and his background and whatnot, like I try to do with everything. I have definitely decided I'm never interviewing podcasters again.
What for?
Because with you and me and Logan and I, it always turns into more of a conversation than I'm trying to interview someone about them, and it just turns more into me talking, and I just don't want to be talking. I want to ask the questions and hear the answers is kind of what I was looking to do, that series with. Mm-hmm. So the ideal thing would be when I interviewed Tommy Browning. We went 40 minutes. I'm asking him questions, and he's rattling off the answers, and not a ton of conversation, not a lot of me talking. I ask the question, they provide interesting answers. But like you and Logan you reverted back to, I mean, because you do this constantly, you revert back to making it a conversation
Right.
because that's what you guys are used to. And I mean, it's good, but it's not necessarily what I was wanting to do. And yours and ours went better. I told Logan the day after, I was like, man, I wish I'd have done that sober. He was like, why? And I was like, I forgot to ask you so many things that I had written on the paper that I was looking at. And I was like, because like 30 minutes in, I forgot to look at the paper anymore.
Logan's a bad influence.
And I was like, yeah.
Are you and Logan friends?
We're buddies.
Love you, bye, huh? You told him I love you.
Love you, bye.
That's right.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a shit show. That was way more digging into me than I wanted that interview to be. But I knew I was going to be drinking bourbon, so I was like, fuck it, I'll have a couple of beers, before and everything. So I had a few IPAs before, and then got into bourbon, then got into more bourbon, and by the end of it, I was a little buzzed, and it was just I went rambling off on topics that were not what I wanted to talk about.
Trevor,
but
you pissed on camera, and you talked about your dad's penis.
I didn't piss on camera.
Well, it was you could hear
my
it.
dad's got a little
And
dick.
you talked about
I come
your
by it
dad's
honestly.
dick.
Come on now. Yeah. My mom had fun with that.
I bet she did.
I had 5.
But yeah, I was sober when I was talking about it.
I had 5 people.
You had 5
I had
what?
5 people message me that day and said, "Did you hear Trevor talking about his dad's dick on his IG deal with Logan?" I said, "I sure did."
So the first 45 minutes of that, most of what I said was just going for the joke. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'm seeing my dad's dick. I come by a little dick, honestly, shit like that. And then, talk about gingers and everything. And like, I had to tell Logan, I was like, hey, bud, I was actually just making a joke and just taking it all the way. Because like, I have one friend and one really good acquaintance that are gingers, and I make that joke constantly to both of them. One of them loves it, one of them hates it, and that makes it all the much better to do. I was doing that joke literally for like 2 or 3 people.
See, when you had me on, I didn't know that you didn't want this back and forth, this conversation, or I'd have just, number one, I'm not that fucking interesting to carry an hour on with me just answering questions. So like, I got to have a little bit of back and forth.
You're pretty interesting. When I have Jeff on, though, I don't want to talk. I just want him to talk because he's very interesting.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but listen,
my wife doesn't find that.
I thought ours went. I thought ours went a lot better because I was 100% sober, and like had no alcohol in my system. I was drinking coffee and water.
Right.
And with ours, I was getting the feedback from the phone, so that's why like. The next one I went to, the earbuds, well, that sucked because I was not getting feedback from the person talking. So then I went to my Beats, and apparently my Beats pick up every freaking sound. Apparently I need to go get a prostate check because they picked up. And now I know in the future, if I need to pee, I'm going to go ahead and just set these down and go to the bathroom. But,
well, I guess the crowd will tell who's better, who they enjoyed more, me or Jeff. So we'll see when that airs. It'll be interesting to see.
Well,
I enjoyed our conversation.
I appreciate that. It's that second fiddle. Who was your first pick that night? I obviously was not. Who was?
So I had my first pick on already. He just that was not a good week for him with some family issues.
Well, I'm glad I could fill in.
So Teddy was gonna be my first pick.
Oh, okay.
But
well,
because with me having some stuff to do with the social media for Easton now, for the calling contest, I wanted to have him on and talk about it because there's big changes coming for this year, so I wanted him on to talk about it, and I thought we had a pretty good discussion and everything. But And Jeff, and then honestly, you were third pick because Jeff was in Mexico, and so was Logan. So actually, you're fourth pick.
But it doesn't matter.
Me and Logan had fun in Mexico. I don't ever get picked. I don't ever get asked to be on a podcast. I haven't been on Logan's. Nobody else's.
You have been on Logan.
I had to surprise Logan and call him about the giveaway to even get onto Logan's podcast.
I've never been on other than
you have been on Logan.
Well,
Jeff Logan called you.
Well, I understand that, but I had
boots on the ground weather forecast.
Right, but I have not. I don't ever get asked to be in any other podcast. They find me too offensive.
Well, you can't be too offensive for that podcast.
Well, okay, you're right there. You're right.
Logan called me, and I happened to be absolute piss drunk, and had not listened to anything other than the bourbon reviews because I was not a Patreon member at that point in time. He called me for boots on the ground. He's like, "You know what we're doing, bud?" I was like, "We're doing a bourbon review because it's National fucking Bourbon Day," because it was National Bourbon Day, and I was deep into the bourbon, and it was a Tuesday, which is my day off. So. And he was like, "No, we're doing boots on the ground." I was like, well, it's about 75 and raining its ass off.
Logan's a good guy. I really enjoy. He's a lot of fun.
I'm gonna have to wave the white flag. We got to get out of here. Your mom's got dinner made, and your little brother's here. We got to go eat dinner. Trevor, we appreciate you being on here, bud. We're gonna have you on here for the pick'em stuff again. I'd sure like to see you come see us this year.
Yeah, well, I hope to come eat some of Michelle's cookies.
You're welcome. Anytime, be here, bud.
See you, bud.
Love to have you.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Be safe out there.
Bye. The one and only Trevor Shannahan.
I beat it that time. That's right.
He's a very interesting man.
That's right.
One of my best pleasures of going to dive or to Squad Fest was getting to hang out with him a little bit.
Just an acquaintance, Jeff.
I really enjoy him. Well, we're not friends. Well, me and him might be friends. He's just not friends with Logan.
Just acquaintance.
But I enjoy it. Guy's going to tell him, love you, bye.
You missed it.
But I really enjoyed him. I like him because he's exactly the same in person as he is on the internet when he's fucking with people.
It's hard to distinguish the two.
He's
just like that ginger thing.
He's a smart guy too.
He played that joke to the end, but I think it offended people.
Well, he's a very smart guy too. Yeah. Don't let him kid you. He is very, very intelligent. All right, let's get off of here. Thank y'all so much. Hey, listen, if you're still listening to this and you're actually a waterfowl guy and not listening to this for your football stuff, I have a few days left in Oklahoma. They're starting to go. But if you want to shoot some ducks this year, I know it's dry in a lot of places. We got water in Oklahoma, and we will have ducks. So come see us. Holler at me, 940-658-3172. Thank you. God bless you, and have a great day.
Check out all of our great sponsors. Check out Shin Gear Waders, Pacific Calls, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, Dirty Duck Coffee, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club, Gundog Outdoors, Goose Creek Retrievers, Bangtail Whiskey, Eyesight Drone Service, and Stanfield Hunting Outfitters.